Uh-oh. Hold on, guys. Uh-oh. I'm setting up the stream to make sure it's working here. Okay. Looking like it's working now. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Alright, so I like this conversation that's going on right now with 60-Minute Man, basically saying to break all the rules. Now I pretty much do the same thing by breaking all the rules. So I think that 60-Minute Man is definitely a good asset to have in this room, by somebody else pretty much saying similar things that I am. Pretty much everything that you learn online is how people tell you to trade is not necessarily the way that you should be trading. Alright guys, I'm going to get right into it. Now you've been watching my live stream for the last 8 hours or so. I think Nick put it on the stream here in the chat room. So as you know, I took some trades on the odd NZD and on the pound CAD. Now the pound CAD, my original position was based on a new high and then a Harami right after that. So my standard rule base, and then I entered on the next candle. Now am I frozen? Hold on, guys. Okay, good. I accidentally paused the video. Oh yeah, so Harami candle, enter on the next candle. I didn't quite get my profit. I was looking for about 30 pips profit, and I only received 23 pips on that move. So just not enough. It bounced back up, and it came back down, and I re-entered. Now, I didn't re-enter on the 4-hour chart. I was looking at the 1 hour for a good re-entry for a second order. Now, I had a pending order placed well above. Let's see, my pending order was placed. So I'm going to mark my entry. And my second pending order was placed up here. So with the prices, it hadn't even gotten there yet. But on the 1 hour, early this morning at 6 a.m. this morning, I saw this Harami candle forming after a new high, and I decided to take that. And now there was only 30 pips from my original entry to the second entry, so it's not a lot. Actually, it was only about 20 pips from one to the other. And I decided to take it so I could get out of this trade faster. I saw that there was some movement going on the other pound pairs, and particularly the pound US dollar. I saw this up in here happening at the same time that I took my second position. So this was going on at the on the pound USD. I saw the whole number, the 32 that was up here, and a bunch of wick candles that had some wicks up there. So obviously showing some resistance. So I saw that happening, and then I also saw the similar thing happening on the pound Japanese yen. Whole number of 32, and this happening at the top. So with that resistance holding, it's showing me that the price is potentially slowing down on the pound CAD on other pound pairs, and so there's good potential for this to also include my my pair, which is the pound CAD. And it did. We had some movement. Now I needed also the CAD to gain some value as well on other pairs, and it was on the other pairs as well, and it wasn't very much, but it still was falling. So that's why I was a bit surprised why this wasn't pushing farther down to get my profit level. Eventually it did. It barely hit it, and then it bounced back up. I think it's going to linger in this area for a while up here, and then eventually push back down with along with the other pound pairs. That's what I think, but we'll have to see how things pan out. So that's, oh yes, Freddie 250. Thanks for bringing that up. About the pound Japanese yen. Hold on, let me get situated here. Okay, the pound Japanese yen. Okay, so you guys know that I've been trading for a long time now, and I manual trade. I manual trade all of my trades. I don't have any EA that helps and executes my trades for me. The pound Japanese yen was a mistake. It was a clear mistake. I entered the trade, meaning to enter on the pound CAD, and I entered on the pound Japanese yen. Now that's kind of a newbie mistake, if you will, but if you guys know the app on the iPhone or Android for MT4, you know you can place trades on it. Well, at the moment, I was not able to get to my computer and had to place the trade on my phone. Now there's a lot of things that you need to check on the phone before placing the trade, and I just made a mistake and placed it on the yen. Now instead of taking out the trade in a loss, I decided to hold on to it for break even. I was considering pulling it out right when I entered it, but decided to hold on to it because I saw, like I told you, what was happening on the other pound pairs. I saw some weakness up at the top of those hold numbers, so I just held on to it in for a break even, and it seemed to work out. So yes, a clear mistake. I don't have them very often, but every once in a while I will. Most of the time that I do have a mistake, I usually will close out the trade right away in a small loss or small profit or even break even. I like that, Hans. Yeah, I hear ya. Yeah, it only happens to me on the phone for some reason. It doesn't happen to me on the charts because I don't think I've accidentally traded the wrong pair on my computer in years. I guess it could always happen, but it's a very rare thing. I'd have to be really tired or something, or not be able to see my monitor, or I don't know. But the only time it usually does happen is on the phone. But yeah, that was pretty funny, Hans. I like your comment there. Okay, so let's go. I guess I went over my my pound CAD that we just barely hit profit. What that trade looked like. Let's see if I can pull up a picture. So right before it took profit, this is kind of what it looked like. Where you can see where my second order was. Now, I actually got a pretty good entry on my second order. The thing is that because I entered on the pound Japanese yen, as a mistake, I entered a minute late on my second entry. My second entry was supposed to be at the open of this candle, but it rose up a little bit after a minute or just over a minute, and I got a better entry. And so I guess I can't complain about that. And it went down. It lingered in this area forever, and eventually it did break. Let's see what that looked like. So it was in here for the longest time that it kept bouncing back and forth. in my profit area. It was getting frustrating waiting for an hour when it was just going to my profit, getting really close, and then jumping back up. Same thing here, and then eventually it ended up taking my profit, and then it did bounce right after that. There is a bit of a resistance here, and at the top. So on all the pound pairs right now, there's a kind of a range going on near the peak of that whole number. I guess it's very indecisive right now. So be careful with those pound pairs. Even though it's looking like these hold numbers at the top could hold. So 132 on the pound Japanese yen, and then also 1.32. It's looking like they could hold, but it is in a tight range right now. So really, it's when it does this a lot of times, if it's in a tight range, eventually it breaks through in a big way, or it falls in a big way at some point. It could take a while. It might not even happen today. It could happen tomorrow. I don't know. But to be careful at this level. Be very cautious with how you're trading on these pound pairs right now. Freddie 250. I probably would have added to it and treated it if it did go against me. I probably would have added to it like a regular trade. I did start at 0.1 lots compared to my typical start of 0.05. As you know, since it was a second trade on the pound CAD, I was prepared to do a 0.1. So that's why I entered 0.1 on the pound Japanese yen. So I would have treated it like a normal trade. I would have added to it over time as well. I didn't like it though. I don't get nervous very often when I'm trading, and that was the time that I was a bit nervous because I was in on 2 pound pairs, the pound CAD and on the pound Japanese yen. I'm double dipping, and it's just not a good decision to do. And I did only hold on to it because it was at that peak, and I saw some resistance, a good chance for me to get out at break even. But yeah, I didn't like it. And if the pound did decide to launch up in some way, then it would launch up on most pairs, and it would include the pound Japanese yen and the pound CAD. So putting me in a lot more risk in a lot worse position as well. But yes, I would have basket traded it and tried to play it out as smart as I can. Sometimes mistakes happen, and you try to work with them the best you can. 60-minute man. I don't know what interceptor on the phone on your phone is. Is that some kind of software that connects MT4? I'm just using the standard MT4 software. Okay, so for those of you that are trading, by the way, I know I'm talking a lot about the pound pairs because where they are. But for those of you trading like the pound USD, keep an eye on this 32 level. It's showing resistance now, but if a candle does happen to close above this line that I made, so a candle close above that line could show more on the upside. So if this, for example, if this candle right now does break that line and close above it, then it could show more on the upside. I mean, it's very nearing right now, but considering that there's not a lot of news, nothing really driving the market right now, I would guess another pullback on this same level. So we do have 10 more minutes before home sales. And that's not going to really affect this pair. Well, yes, it will. It's a pound pair, pound USD. Home sales. It'd have to be drastic in order for it to really affect the market. I'm not expecting much from this news. No wonder I even forgot about it. Some sites are showing it as high impact. Forex Factory is showing it as medium impact. New home sales would have to be drastic, either drastically positive or drastically negative in order to really move the market at all. At least that's my opinion. So yeah, like I was just saying, the pound, it keeps bouncing off that level. So for those of you that want to scalp, I guess you could scalp that level a lot for bounces up and down up there. So you guys know that on the pound CAD, I took that trade. I had an opportunity to take 3 different positions for that same trade. So the 3 were the US, the UCAD. So I received 3 signals. So let me try to put this in better terms. I received 3 signals at the same time on CAD pairs. So that was the US dollar, the USD CAD, the Euro CAD, and the pound CAD. I needed to decide which one I wanted to pick. I picked the pound CAD, and I'll get into why I did that. But the unfortunate thing is that I can't always get these things right, and just this one wasn't. I got a Harami candle here. This was at the same time as the other trades, and it moved down 30 pips. I would have taken 20 pips on that, 20 pips profit, and it would have hit. It would have been very smooth, easy peasy. Same thing on the EuroCAD. Harami candle after a new high, and a pushback down 30 pips. EuroCAD probably would have taken 20 pips on that one as well. Now, since it's a pound pair and I know it's volatile, I entered on this one. Let me delete my horizontal lines. So on the pound, same thing. But I saw that there was a bigger push, and I like the ones that push higher and make a newer high, and there's more pips in between. There was over 400 pips from the bottom to the top of this channel. And I entered there, and I only got 24 pips on the retracement initially, and then had to re-enter again. So it wasn't looking very great on that pair, and it just didn't move the same way as the EuroCAD and the USD CAD did. So unfortunately, out of those 3 choices, I picked the worst. Or I don't know if you can say I picked the worst of the 3, but because initially I didn't know it was the worst of the 3. I guess you could say I was very unlucky, but was still able to correct it and come out of it and profit. Where will I add on odd NZD? So let's talk about that now. So I'm watching the 4-hour and the 1-hour really heavily on this pair. Now, for those of you that know, there was a statement that came out yesterday that caused this big candle here of a 75 pip candle, and it was negative towards the pair. So it went down pretty heavily, and it bounced and it whipsawed after that. I'm trying to find the new statement. Let me see if I can find it. So it's the NZD, that the news that came out on the NZD. Governor Wheeler rules out rapid rate cuts, and so it caused the NZD to gain some value. So that would make sense for the NZD climbing up in a big way on the NU. So that came out, and that statement was released, and then that whipsaw happened on the odd on the AN. So I'm watching this pair very closely to see when there is a candle formation that I can trade. Right now, I don't see anything in here for a re-entry. Now I did have a pending order set, and I'm probably going to replace that now, since I deleted it because I thought I was going to have a second order, second entry. Okay, so no second entry yet. I don't see anything even on the 1 hour yet as well. There was a potential a bullish engulfing candle in the 1 hour. I didn't buy it. It wasn't strong enough to me. I wanted this to close higher, and that candle just didn't. It's moved up a little bit since then. I'm probably going to close if I can't get a second entry somewhere in here, or if it doesn't go a tad bit lower and hit my pending order, then I'll probably close this trade near break even or as low as 10 pips. I have 10 pips profit set right now on this trade, but I may lower that. It looks like Hans. So yeah, he's looking at those home sales as well because it will affect gold prices depending on if it's really drastic or not. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be a heavy hitter unless that number is drastic. So yeah, I'm hoping for another entry here, guys. It sucks. They on the odd NZD, that news that came out really messed things up a bit. I was considering closing it out at break even just because that the NZD positive news came out that caused this to push down. But I'm not worried about this trade. I'm on the first level, and you guys know that the first level is not a huge one for me. We still have a lot of room. And it's only Tuesday, so. All right, so let's talk about some of the other pairs. The Euro US dollar. It's in a bit of a range right now. I've even marked the top and the bottom. Bounced from here. No trading going on for me on this pair right now. We had a great Harami candle here at the peak, and it went down. That was late last week. I think that was on Friday. But nothing since that time. So I'm looking for this pair to break the high, which is up here, the high of the previous high. So I want this to go back up and then break that level, and then I'll look to sell on the way back down after it does breach. Then I'll look to go back down. The pound yen, I've talked about this pair already. It keeps toying with this 132.00, so the whole number. You could say it's maybe even a quadruple top here that's going on. I would say probably just a triple. Some even suggest this was a top too. So this level is pretty substantial. If you decide to buy here, you could easily have a breakout. If you decide to sell, you could easily have a sellout here too. But right now is definitely a turning point. This is a very important level. That something is going to happen, and it could happen potentially in a big way. Either it's going to break heavy up, or it's going to break heavy down. As long as it's staying below this line that I just made, this 3,200, then we're looking good. So I've told you that we want, whenever a candle breaks above that level, then it could be more on the upside. But a lot of times you have to have consecutive candles break above that level. Usually two, I would say, is a pretty good indication. So you can see right here that level was breached on this candle, and then the next candle after it closed below. Next candle after closed below, but the candle after that, it did close above and a candle below. And it eventually did go down. So like I was saying before, two candles, this candle and that candle closed below, and eventually it did end up going down. And the same thing happened here on this level. Both these hit this level and then they bounced back down, couldn't breach it. And then again here, a breach here on this candle, on this bullish one. And then it closed below. So you got to watch these candlesticks. It really does matter how they close above these levels, because it can give us some insight into what's going on. So the last one, the one that I was on, breach here, pretty big wick up here as well. And then the next candle close below, next candle close above, next candle below. So right there, because of that, it's showing me that this is people are using this resistance right now, trying to decide what the next move is going to be. So either you have a big close up, like a very solid close up, or a very solid close down, and then it would go. It may go in those directions. So just I guess some advice on reading levels and what tells you how if they're going to continue or if they're going to fall. Same thing on the pound USD. I'm looking at that whole number and looking for close above and below. Right now, for those of you that are liking to scalp, you could easily scalp that level, bring it back down here. It went back up, back down, back up, back down, back up, back down, and you can just play that level over and over again. A lot of people will do that. I know some scalpers that will play those whole and half numbers, especially when they're doing this kind of action. Meathead, I'm trying to see if I missed something that you were said previously. I might be taking your message out of context. So you're saying, oh Ryan, I don't look that far back for most of your trades. I assume due to the fact you are more of an intraday trader. What are you referring to, Meathead? So I can help figure out how to approach that question. Robert FX, I actually trade on the 4 hour and 1 hour. I trade on the 1 hour on my 8 major pairs. So the Euro, the EU, the GJ, the GU, the EA, the AU, the UJ, the EJ, the GA, and those are the pairs that I trade on the 1 hour and 4 hour. The other pairs, all the crosses, those are the ones that I do just on the 4 hour. And the reason for that is because they are crosses, they're more finicky, to me at least, and so I trade on the 4 hour because the 4 hour is a bit more of a solid signal to me on all pairs. But I take the 1 hour on the majors because they do follow, to me, they do follow price a little bit better, and so that's why I take those 1 hour trades on that. So looking at the sales, the home sales numbers, the numbers were they're fairly positive, but it doesn't look like it's having much of a reaction yet. It could be one of those delayed actions, but I'm not gonna. I would bet that we wouldn't see more of a 20 pip push down on this new statement. But home sales, I really see. Look at this. If you go see, like home sales are not even. Oh yeah. So on Forex Factory, let me show you this. This is what's really kind of tricky sometimes of how to use these new statements. So Forex Factory is showing the new home sales. Their expectation is a little bit different than some other news sites. This is not a great example, but it will show you that each publication is a bit different. See, the new home sales, it's showing as high impact on WPP online, and it's showing a 568 was the survey. Forex Factory was showing 575. So not 578 versus 575. So not a huge difference, only a couple of thousand. But sometimes it's pretty. The difference can be pretty drastic, depending on the news source. And so the positive news that came out could be maybe even negative on some other, depending on how close it is, on some other publications or websites. So keep that in mind. This number is not massively huge. Massively huge. That's redundant. But I'm still not expecting a huge move on this. I mean, it's looking pretty sad, actually. You might not even get 20 pips on this. So yeah, nothing to worry about there. Rebecca, I am talking about a few months and so on, but that is not. Meathead, are you talking about my previous history, like my previous trades? Because I've been trading profitably for the last 15 months. I am an intraday trader. I do sometimes trade the Japanese session as well, or the Asian session. Sorry. Very rarely will I trade the European session. Yeah, Hans, I'm looking at your post right now. That's interesting. Yeah. Hans was saying it's even displaying as low here. So he's saying the net number is even different, 582. Yeah, so it's hard to know which one of these places is the most accurate, and each place is different. I really don't like daily FX. The company is run by FXCM. I feel like it can be manipulated based on how they want to treat their customers. So if they want to change the numbers on their website, they can change them on this website as well, and they can claim that this website is showing that this number happened, and it's a website. It's not, and they won't admit that it was that they own it or they have some kind of say in that. So to me, long story short, or in better words, I don't trust daily FX. Oh, I see, Meathead. So you're talking about like backtesting, like visual backtesting. That visual backtesting I can do. That's a good point to bring up, actually. Visual backtesting I can do because, for example, what's the trade I took on the pound the other day? That closed out really quickly. Hold on. So it was on the pound Japanese yen. $131,604. Sorry guys, I'll be back with you in a second. Okay, yeah, there it is. So I entered. I go back. I can back test my strategy, and I can go in the previous history. That's the beauty of it. And I can say, oh, I would do this or do that. And a lot of times, that's what either newer traders or even advanced traders will do, and they'll think that's what this strategy that they're trading is profitable if they would have done this or if they would have done that. But the thing is that this actually happened. And I took this position. So I'm looking back in the history, and I saw this Harami candle with this new high, or it hit this level, and I took this trade. I actually took this one, and went into profit right away. So I'm looking in the previous history, and my trigger is the same: new high, big push from the bottom to the top, decent pip amount in between, Harami candle. Enter on the next candle, push down. That's the same trigger on all of my order entries. You could say the same thing here. I think I missed this trade, but same thing. Good space in between the bottom and the top. Harami candle, push down. It's the same trigger, the trigger candle. So that's what I'm saying, is that I can look back in the past, and just because it's past tense doesn't mean that it's any less valuable. It's unfortunate that I didn't get the trade because I was in on some other pair, but it doesn't mean that it didn't happen and that an entry at that point would have been the same thing. Now, just because, let's see if I can give you a better example. So it's like, so the price looked like this when I entered. Okay, so we're looking at this point all the way over on the side. So that's what the price looked like. I'm not before all the other all the other candles happened. So that's all I'm seeing. I'm seeing that it broke this level. I'm seeing the new high. I'm seeing the low here, and I'm counting I'm looking at the pips in between. I am seeing the Harami candle that just closed. All right, and so right after that is when I'm going to enter my trade. And then what happens? That's what happens right after that. So I don't allow the what's happened in the future, or what's if I'm backtesting. I don't care about what's happened in this area after before the trade is entered, or after the trade is entered. I'm looking at the actual trade entry and what took place, or my entry and the candle and what happened there. What happened after is important, obviously, if it's profit or loss, but this isn't determining. What happened after the trade isn't determining why or why not I would not take this trade, or why I would take this. Why or not? What? Wow. Hold on a second. Why would or why would not take this trade? So if some of you are wondering that does not have an effect on my back testing. Where can we see the backtest for, say, 2004? Is Hans Bowles, are you talking to me? You can backtest this for as far as the charts will allow you. I'm not sure how far it will allow you to go back. This is just on the yen. I don't think it will allow me to go back past further than 2015, but it depends on the broker. See, right now, well, I guess it does allow me to go back to 2012. So I did some backtesting with this strat. Excuse me. I did some backtesting with this strategy back a while ago for Maverick FX. when they hired me on to trade for them. They wanted to see if my strategy was sound and clear over years and years of time. So I did back testing on multiple crosses and the majors as well, mostly on the daily chart. So this a good strategy that you guys have should work on every time frame, pretty much every time frame. There should be maybe not the 1 minute, but like anything above that, like the 5, 15, 30, 4 hour, 1 hour, whatever you have should work on pretty much every time frame. So I described to them that my strategy was pretty sound, but I wasn't sure how it would work on the daily charts. So I tested it on the 4-hour and daily charts for them and did multiple years. I think I went back as far as 2010 with these tests. Now the crazy thing, guys, is that these tests were really limited that Maverick FX gave me. And I could mostly only did the daily chart for this system, and they wouldn't even allow me to basket trade. What's super interesting is that over years of backtesting, I think it was 2010, so over 6 years, on multiple pairs, I had 100% win rate in the backtesting. And the backtesting is a kind of it's a scroller kind of type of system, so I don't get to see what happens in the future. I can only see what's happening initially. So I place my order, and once I place my order in that backtest, I can't delete it, and it has to stay in. And so I had 300 or 400 plus trades over those 6 years, and I had a 100% win rate. So what I'm saying is that this strategy is not just effective on the 1 hour and the 4 hour. It's also effective on the 5 minute, the 15, the 30, the daily, the weekly. It's just it's reading the candlesticks. That's what I'm saying, is that if it's good on one time frame or others, or the ones that I am, the 1 hour and 4 hour, then it's going to be good on the others. But I only trade the 1 hour and 4 hour because I like the amount of trades that I get. I know what to expect from them. I know how to trade them, and I look for support and resistance on those time frames. I don't trade Haramis only. I also will trade bullish engulfing or bearish engulfing pairs as well. Candlesticks as well. Looks like I'm just about to get my second order hit on the AN, my pending order. So let me see if I can give you an example for a bullish or bearish engulfing. I'll just look on the Euro US dollar. Sorry, I'll find something here in a second. I find that the Harami candles happen more often. That's why I like to take them, and they're just as accurate, if not more accurate than the bullish engulfing or bearish engulfing. This would be considered still, even though it didn't break the top, the high. I mean, this is not a very good, I guess, definition of it. But it didn't. I usually like it to break the previous high of the previous candle, and then close well below the opening of the previous candle. And close, so you see it closes well below the open of the previous candle, and the body of the candle is very strong. It even made a new low. And so that's what I look at as a bearish engulfing. Now, there's a lot of definitions for bearish engulfing, but I like it to be a super bearish engulfing candle, meaning that it breaks the high of the previous candle, it closes below, and it breaks the low of the previous candle. So that previous candle shown is a pretty big deal for me, and what happens on that actual bearish or bullish engulfing candle. I want to find a better setup. I guess the Euro US dollar hasn't really had one in a while. gosh, I'm gonna give up here in a second. Okay, here's one. I found one finally. This is a really good definition in my book for a good bearish engulfing. Okay, previous high. Whoa, big marker. Hold on. So looking at a new high. Okay, so that's it broke this level here. And I'm looking at this candle right here. So this is the candle that I'm looking at, this big bearish engulfing. So why is this particular bearish engulfing so great? Because it broke the previous high of the other candle, made a big fat old wick in here. The body of the candle is larger than the previous body. I closed below the open of the previous candle. It broke. It made a new low. The body of the candle closed below. So what this is showing is basically like a mini whipsaw, where there's big buying pressure here, and then everybody just gets out all of a sudden, and it causes this to push back down very quickly, and closes below, which is a really good indication for start of a push in the opposite direction. So yeah, that's a pretty good example. Sometimes they're hard to find, and I look for them at specific areas in the market, and they usually are pretty accurate on showing some kind of retracement or even a reversal of a trend. Well, Hans, my EA that I have for my system for this kind of trading it does trade inside candles. You can make an EA that trades inside candles or engulfing candles as well. But it's really difficult for one thing, for my EA to actually know what to do, is I'm looking at these at levels. The EA is really difficult for an EA to read these levels, new highs that I'm talking about. Excuse me. So, for example, it's really difficult for an EA to read this push down from here to here. What indicator shows this? And then after that, a Harami inside candle after a new low. And then that's when I would enter the trade. It's really difficult to have an EA. It's easy to have an EA to trade these candles. But it's difficult to have an EA trade to know how to use this. Now what I can do is try to find an indicator that kind of shows the recent swing levels. That's possible. I think there's a custom one that does that. I just need to find it and have my programmer program it in. So there's probably a way that I can do it and program it into an EA. But I still like reading the price with my own eyes to see what the space is between these swing levels. How many pips is it? How large is it? How small is it? What the price action was looking at. And I feel like an EA is good at taking mechanical levels or doing mechanical things, but it doesn't have an eyes. It doesn't really have a mind. It doesn't have any real discretion. It's not a human brain, you know. So that's why I'm very particular in how I approach the market in this way, and I just don't think an EA can do that. It won't stop me from keep in trying, but I still haven't really fixed the EA in a way that it can trade the way I do. Robert FX. Who was my main teacher in candlestick trading? Well, I don't think that I didn't really have a teacher. There was a guy I met. I mentioned him in multiple streams before. His name is Trader34 on Forex Factory. Really educated guy from Australia, and he trades candlesticks almost exclusively as well. And I wrote a post on Forex Factory in regards to money management in one of the EAs I was working on that was heavy into basket trading. And the EA worked over a long period of time. And I was trying to give people the idea that 2 to 3% per month should be enough for traders because most traders shoot for a lot more, and that's what causes a lot of issues. And so he met me through that. He liked how I had a conservative approach to forex trading, and we've been in contact for the last over 3 years, I think. And he showed me a few techniques, some candlesticks. He was the one that showed me the particular or the super engulfing candle. But I did come up with a Harami idea based on price action. Now Haramis are well-known candles, but I know I enter and I use them at particular places in the market where I feel like them being shown gives a good chance of the market moving or reversing in your direction, yeah, or the chosen direction. So Harami candles, as you know, can be just any other candle because they can happen anywhere in the market. For example, like right here. This is a pretty good example. This is the US dollar CAD. So this is a Harami candle. This is a new low. Why isn't that a good signal to take? Well, it may be. It may be a decent signal because it's a new low and it's a good place to buy. But there's one. It just didn't work out. They don't always work out. But you have to be looking at certain levels to see what levels are important. For example, we're looking at this level down here, and these levels up here. Now, if we're looking at price action and we're looking at this candle that I just mentioned, we'll see that it just recently broke this level here, which happened to be a whole number, and it closed below. 2 candles closed below. We had a Harami candle. It could easily shoot back up. But the chances are that with this being said, with what the levels and the price action is looking like, that may not be the best opportunity for Harami candle to enter on the buying side. But even if it did, it's very likely that let's see what the other support levels were in this particular trade. So that's our entry. That would be my second entry right here on this. So I don't know what happened. I'm looking at that as a second entry. So I'm going to delete these other 2 lines so you don't get confused. So let's make believe that we entered on this Harami candle. Let's say that we didn't care that it closed below the support level, that 2 candles did, and we saw the Harami candle and we entered. We entered here, okay, it went against us really fast. Not much action going on there. But then on the support, the next support level, which was about 55 pips lower, that's where we would have entered. I might have even been on this trade. Actually, I think I was in on this UCAD trade, and it bounced up from there. So the thing is that support that resistance or that support level that I chose that happened in the previously actually did show as a support level later on in this particular area. And as you guys know, I take a more profit on the bottom over than I do on the top. That's just how I do basket trading. Hans does a similar thing. And I was able to get out of this trade. And I don't quite remember if I was in this trade or not, but if I was, then it would have been an easy escape. So they don't always work out, and that's just one example of when that happens. But there's more of these. They happen quite a bit. Like here's another one. This one I wouldn't have taken. There's no question I wouldn't have taken that one because it's way too close to the top of that channel, and it's only 45 pips. It's not enough for me to have taken this trade after that Harami candle happened. Why? Because I'm looking at this level here. I want this important support level to be broken. It was broken here. And that was the trade I would have likely taken. Now, it's still a dangerous area because it did break this support level. It means I could push down in a big way. But I did know that it has been pushing down for a while, that the Harami candle could show something there. It didn't, but later on it did show a bit of a pullback on that level, and I was able to get out. So maybe not the cleanest of trades in this area right here, but definitely wouldn't have taken this one. It's too close, and this here is potential for an entry as well, but let's see. Sorry guys, I'll come back to the questions in a second. Yeah, that is an entry. So this here, so that's the level I'm looking at to be broken, and it was, the high was broken. Harami candle, new high. The new high was basically a new high compared to these previous levels. So I'm looking at these levels here. That was broken there, new high, hello, good pips in between. Sell the market right after that Harami candle, and bam. But you know, guys, it's really hard. It's really hard to decide where a good area to buy is, where to do support resistance, where to re-enter the market. So the best off probably just copying my signal. And doing that, it's probably easier to go about it, since I guess this system or this methodology was kind of put in place by me. You know, Harami candles aren't new. And counter trend trading isn't new, but counter trend trading using Harami candles in this type of fashion, using a single candle Harami reversal, I haven't seen anybody do that. And that's just my style. Sorry guys, 1 second. So yeah, back to you, Robert FX. Yeah, Trader 34 was a big influence on my counter trend trading. I was already doing some initially already at the time before I met him. Then he showed me some of his ideas, and then it kind of opened my mind further. And so that's when I came up with this type of trading. And it's not what he's doing; it's different. But you guys may hear from him in the future. He's on the website. I'm not going to give his name away, but you may hear from him in the future because he is a good trader. Okay, so unfortunately, we didn't get an entry at our level, which would have been great because look how close that was. That was, oh geez, we're talking about 2.5 pips away from entering the trade. But it's not the end of the world. We're looking at this. This is the 4-hour. Unfortunately, what time is it? Okay, so we don't have much longer left. It's about an hour and a half before this candle closes. Now, if this candle closes as a bullish engulfing, and it's looking like a very a good potential. Now, I want this level the most. I want this candle to break that level. Unfortunately, it didn't, and then close bullish, so above the open of the previous candle. I'd want it to close pretty strong in order for me to take this position, as another buy in that direction. So if it closes where it is now, I'm not so sure I would take that trade. But if it closed a few pips higher, maybe 10 or so pips, let's see, yeah, about 10 pips higher, I would probably take the position and looking to start basket trading from there. Okay, looking at somebody asked about the pound USD. So yeah, I told you guys about the pound USD. That level I marked at 3,200. Be watching for candlesticks to close above it. Because if they close above it, then there's potential for more on the upside. But right now it's holding. So my idea is, as long as this level is holding, then this is going to be on the downside. Hans, do you code EAs? I didn't know you actually coded. Sorry, I'm just now reading your comment that you said like 10 minutes ago. I do have other EAs, guys, that I'm considering starting up on an account on, so I can put them on SimpleTrader. This would be completely hands-free, and they would do very well over the long term. I have like 2 of them that would do very well over the long term. It's just a different approach to the market. Some of them are trend traders, some are range traders. But I would need to break or take funds out of my my main account, which I'm not really sure if I want to do or not. But I have at least 2 other EAs that are profitable long term and that are pretty safe, that make anywhere from 2 to 3% per month. I like my manual trading. I like being in more control. That's why I'm doing this here. Ryan, you don't much from just copying. Meetout, are you saying you don't learn much from copying? Is that what you're asking? How do you judge take profit once you have a candlestick entry? Support resistance levels. That's one way to do it, Robert FX. I judge my take profit. If I think you're fairly new to the stream, how I usually will go is anywhere from 20 to 40 pips. Most of the time, I'm in the 20 to 30 pip bracket. I look for I am entering on the pullbacks or the retracements of the trend, so countering the trend, and I look for just a small piece of that. I want a sure thing. I don't want to ride it out for a longer period of time, even though I could. It's a choice I have, but I don't want to miss out on profit. Say, for example, I decided to do a trailing stop, and I did the trailing stop at 20 pips. If the retracement went 20 pips and then reversed and went against me, and I broke even, I lost 20 pips. Right? That's how I look at trailing stops. It's the same thing with the trend, trying to elongate the profit on a position. Like for example, if I'm shooting for 40 pips and the pair only goes 20, and then it reverses against me, I lost 20 pips. So that's how I look at it, like that. And so that's why I almost always take the smaller portion of usually a larger pie. And so some people think I'm crazy for only shooting for 20 to 30 pips, but I have a really high win rate at that with the small pip shot that I do. Gosh, there's a lot of questions from you guys today. Shoot. What is the best way to copy trades from one main account to 2 more different accounts? I do partially close orders, manage, take profit, stop loss, hedge. The best way to copy trades from one main account to 2 other different accounts. That's what I'm doing right now. So you guys can see that I'm copying to my buddy's account. At Doenda, I have a demo account that's trading at 13 times risk on IC markets, and I have a live account at Forex Broker Inc. That's up 36%. That's trading at 13 times risk. His live account was initially just for Nick asked me to start up a live account, so I'm giving you guys the story now. A live account with the 13 times extra higher risk. And that's what I did at Forex Broker Inc. and I started that about a month ago. I haven't showed a lot of people it or talked much about it since then, but I believe that I'm probably going to end up closing this account, at least taking out my initial deposit soon, probably by the end of the week, maybe sooner. I might even wait just for this trade to close out. I've had a profit of 36%. I'll probably just use the profit that's in here left and continue to push this at 13, 14 times risk and go from there. So I was initially there to prove to you guys that 13 times risk can work on this on my trading or copying my results at 13 times the risk level. But since I'm trading the good boy MAM and we're trying to recover that, I don't think it's necessary for me to prove that this actually works or can work. And so I don't find a lot of benefit in trading like that on a $1,000 account. I'm just not that interested. You need a private copier for yourself. Can you let me see if I can find it real fast while I'm here. I was going to say, can you PM me so I can send you in the right direction? I just got this copier, and it's a good copier, and I use it. It's you just have to be careful at setting the slave to the master. But let me see if I can find this for you while I have you on the stream. I just got it on MQL5. Oh, actually, I can just look in my on my chart. Marketplace, okay. So I use Copyist MT4 Universal. So it's not expensive. It was $10. It was $10. You can see here. So it's a $10 copier, and it's very solid. It doesn't show you pending orders, which is a little bit frustrating sometimes. But it does change the take profit and the stop loss, and it doesn't have a lot of lag in between as well. So that's what I use to copy from one account to the other. I did have a mess up back a while ago when I was setting up my 13 times risk account, and I did have a trade that went in at 13 times the risk on my main account. I ended up closing that trade at break even, but it was pretty dramatic. And make sure that you check everything before you do this. Even potentially check things on a demo before you start going in live, so you don't make the same mistake as me. Now I've corrected that mistake, and I know what I did wrong, and that hasn't happened since. But yes, it's Copyist, and then you can get it through just through your marketplace. And or MQL5.com. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Yeah, Hans actually commented on me clearing my throat. It's really unfortunate since I do a stream. I need to try to stop that. It's partially kind of a habit, but it also is called acid reflux. I have acid reflux, and so I constantly have to something in my throat. That's making it difficult to talk, and so I'm trying to drink some water to help that out. But I do clear my throat, and I understand that it does annoy some people sometimes. And so that's why I put my mic up. It's supposed to cut off the sound, and I don't know if it is. Can you guys let me know if you can hear me? If you can hear me? Yeah, so my mic cutoff does work. That's good. I just saw that. So I'm glad that works out. So yeah, Hans, it's fine. It's fine that he asked this in private about my throat clearing, or why I always put my mic up like that. And is the reason why I'm saying it publicly is because I've had somebody in one of my YouTube videos said the same thing. But yeah, just if you do hear me clear my throat, it's because I have acid reflux, which is really unfortunate, and I'm in the process of trying to get something for it. So that's why whenever I put my mic up, you know what I'm doing. So Slippage, I hope that answers your questions in regards to the copier. FX Blue? Who's saying FX Blue is good? I don't like FX Blue's uh, tracking results, at least. They can be manipulated in a lot bigger way than my FX book or any of the other places. But I don't know anything about their trade copier. Thanks for the help, guys. Are those private copiers? Can I copy from one account to more account at the same time? The thing is that I don't know, Slippage, if this account copier allows you to copy to other people's accounts. I'm not sure if it's just through your network, so from on your one computer from one account to the other. I'm not really sure if it does. You'd have to check and see. It may tell you, but I know that my use was just to copy trades from one account to the other on my initial computer. It's a basic copy, and it works very well for what I do. But you might need something that costs a little bit more if you like to do a lot more than what I'm doing here. Okay, thank you, Shield Vibes. I'm looking at that right now. I'm copying what you just gave me, so I can check that out. I think some people would mention like a Prilosec or something like that would be good, but I'm not really sure. Yeah, you can do that too. If you have 5K plus, you can ask a broker to open up a MAM for you as well. Yeah, you can do that, but honestly, a copier does the job just perfectly for me. There is maybe a 1 second delay, maybe even less, from when I place a trade on my main account to the other accounts. If somebody is copying your trades using the software from somewhere else, like on another computer, there's probably going to be a longer delay. It could be anywhere from 1 to 3 seconds, maybe more. Okay, so I'm gonna have to wait for this on NZD to close out, or the candle. I'm still at about an hour and 15 minutes before that happens. But I'm watching it closely, and I potentially will re-enter after this candle closes, and then I'll start my basket. It's really crappy that I didn't get the entry that I needed. I mean, it might even be less than 2 pips. It might have even been just like 1.5, and we would be sitting in profit right now. Not profit, but profit on the lower trade. So if I was able to enter at that bottom level, I wouldn't need a whole lot more from where it is right now. Probably a good 20 or so pips. That's okay. It's not the end of the world. I'm not really angry or anything like that this didn't execute, because if this closes as a bullish engulfing candle, then I may enter anyway. Yes, you're right. The MAM is really good because there is basically, yeah, there's zero slippage. It's basically the same account. You're trading on one account and it's being distributed to other accounts. So there's no latency. But honestly, since I'm not scalping, since I'm not, my entries are important, but they're not like extremely crucial. That's why I feel like this my kind of trading is really great for you copiers out there, for most of your copiers. I had one guy that said that I profited 13 pips today on the pound CAD, and he only received 4 pips. And I looked at his results, and it looked like his broker had a 2 pips higher spread on the entry and 2 pips less on the exit, and on both trades. It was kind of a mess. So depending on your broker, make sure you pick a good broker because sometimes they can have pretty high spreads depending on the pair. So yeah, keep an eye on that because it could change the results from what I'm getting to what you're getting. That's why a lot of times a MAM account is usually better. So the results that I'm getting on the recovery account, the MAM recovery account that's at 56,000 or whatever, those results will be much better because that's a MAM account, and all 20 or 25 or 30 of you clients that are on that account are getting the same result. A MAM can't be on 3 different brokers. No. A MAM has to be done all through the same broker. But usually it can be endless accounts though. What broker do you use? I use my favorite brokers are Oanda, IC Markets, and Forex Broker Inc. Telenex is okay. As well. I do like Telenex. Telenex and Forex Broker Inc. are very similar, but Telenex doesn't typically give you more than 200 or maybe 300 to 1 leverage. Gradually they could increase that, but Forex Broker Inc. does give you the 500 leverage right off the start. They are not regulated. Telenex and Forex Broker Inc. are not regulated, although they do accept U.S. clients. And so I usually will only have a thousand or so at these brokers. But Oanda is my main account, and that's where I focus on, and I only get 50 to 1 leverage. But I understand that, and it makes sense to me. And I'm not a greedy trader, so I'm not looking for massive gains. I'm looking for steady, slow gains over the long period of time. Sorry, YouTube. For those of you guys typing on YouTube, I can't respond to you anymore because there's been so many trolls. So hopefully you're able to listen and take some of the questions that I'm receiving on forexsignals.com. I recommend that you guys check them out. Join the chat room there. There's lots of cool information. You can copy traders as well. Some of the better traders in the world. And some of them are even in the chat right now, like Hans Bowles. Hans is, to me, guys, I don't want to put him on a pedestal, but to me, I feel like he's one of the best traders in forex, pretty much in general, like across the board. I know he's not a forex trader, like he trades gold, but to me it's still in the same category. But it doesn't come better than what he achieves in the market, like his type of trading, what he does. And when I saw him before he was even on forexsignals.com, I was like, this guy knows what he's doing. And I could tell just by looking at his results, his previous history, his past, how long he's been going, what he does, his basket trading involved. There's all these ends that meet together, his risk as well. I could see that it was a really solid mix, and I feel like his trading will work very long term. And so yeah, I hope to be similar to Hans, but he trades one pair, which is which is basically gold, and I trade multiple. And so things will automatically be harder for me because of that. But it doesn't mean that I can't approach it in a similar way. And I trade each pair differently. I don't trade each pair the same way. I look at support resistance depending on the pair. I look at the volatility as well. And so there's more because there's more pairs. There's more analysis that I have to do depending on that pair. I would love to trade with just one pair and go through it like that. But honestly, my strategy would be very slow just on one pair because of the entries, or the trigger candle doesn't happen all the time. I could scalp on a 15-minute or 5-minute doing this as well. I choose not to, but it doesn't mean that I can change things and do that in the future. But yeah, I respect Hans a lot for what he does and what he brings to forexsignals.com, and I hope for continued success for him. Sorry guys, I'm reading comments. When it's silent, I'm just reading. Okay. Well, it's looking better on the odd NZD. This is, if it closed where it is right now, I would probably enter a second position and then basket from there. I'm not seeing anything. Whoa. Okay, so we had some pretty big movement on the Euro CAD. Well, considering how dull this day has been. This is a potential entry that we're getting right now after this candle closes. This is a bearish engulfing. We had a new high on the previous candle, even though it was bearish. It's not the cleanest signal in the world right here. That candle did make a new high, but this made a new high the candle after. And if this closes solid, basically where it the lowest point, if it closes down there, then I would like to potentially enter on the downside. And I would like that trade. It would be pretty solid. But it doesn't look like it's ready. It's not with it how it just went down and then swung back up. It doesn't look like it's ready to push down quite yet. It may follow because the Euro CAD is heading down. This looks like it could be a delayed reaction happening here. It's helping my odd NZD a bit. There's also a bearish engulfing potentially happening right now also on the 4-hour on the NZD Japanese yen. Now this needs to close below the open of the previous candle. That's not happening yet, but it could before the candle's closed. Which, if that's the case, if I get a bearish engulfing, that's a good sign that my odd NZD could continue to rise. These are counter correlated pairs, and so that could help me a lot there. Let's see, the same thing here. New high. This is actually a pretty good trade. I would take this over the NZD Japanese yen. This is a new high. Even broke this level here, and this candle would need to close a bit lower. So I'm going to zoom in, show you where it needs to close. I think you probably understand. It needs to close below this open. So if it closes down here, then that's a great signal for it to push down. I won't be taking that trade because I'm already in on the odd NZD. In on one New Zealand pair already, so I will not be taking another one. Like I said before, it's double dipping. I do that sometimes, but in this case, I don't think it's necessary. Considering how much that I'm already in drawdown on one pair already. If I was not in much drawdown, I would maybe consider taking this position. Okay, looking at the other pairs, nothing. I can check the 1 hours. This was a bearish Harami, but I didn't like the move from the bottom to the top. It wasn't big. It wasn't big enough for me. All right, so this pound US dollar is still using that level as a resistance, and it probably will for the next while. Okay, so then we had a Harami candle on the Euro US dollar. That it's sloppy. It's not big enough. It's not in a good spot. From here to here is not. It's not a good entry. Even though it's started moving from there, not an entry that I would take at least. Okay, so now I'm really looking at wow. Look at that Euro CAD, guys. The CAD must be pushing down pretty heavily there right now. I'm gonna check. Well, it's not necessarily the CAD that's really going up. From what I could see, well, yeah, it is. Yeah, it's definitely okay, so yeah, it is the CAD that's moving the most right now. That's pushing these two pairs. This is going to follow. So yeah, I will take this pound CAD again on the sell side if it gives me if it closes where it is now, but that's still about an hour away from now. So I'll be watching this pair. I won't be taking this one, obviously, because it's too big and this signal already happened. This was a full-fledged reversal at this point. Typically, I would have taken only a few pips at this level, 20 to 30 pips. But this is acting as a full reversal point. Now, areas of resistance that I'd be looking at here, which has already passed, and then maybe even in this area too. So this could head down a little bit further before reversing entirely or continuing down. So look at those levels for bounces. But this is looking great for those of you that want to join me on the pound CAD. I'll be likely taking this position. Now there's a couple of things that could stop me from taking it in the next hour. And one, if this moves too much, if it moves too much down, so that this candle actually pushes a lot of pips in that 4-hour bracket, I may not take that candle. I don't want it to move much more than where it is now. So if it moves another 50 or so pips down, even if it moves probably 30 pips down, I still may not take this trade because it's moved too much in that one candle, which is not what I'm wanting to take. So this my second entry from earlier today worked as potentially a full-fledged reversal as well on that. So I'm wanting to close near where it is now for me to enter a trade. But if it goes down another 20 or 30 pips, maybe even 40, I probably won't take this position because it's moved too much within the candle. All right, let's see. So my odd NZD is looking great. Same situation for this one. If it moves too much within that candle, I may not take it as well. I don't want it to move much higher than it is now. If it does move higher than it is now, I might even just leave it in and close this at a break even. This is probably going to be close to a break even trade if I don't re-enter. If I do re-enter, I will probably take anywhere from 10 to 15 pips profit. All right, so I'm going to close out. I'm going to answer a couple more questions that people may have, and then I think that's going to probably be it for today. Okay, so those are like if there's anything that's question-wise that I should pick up. I'm not answering too many questions on YouTube, but But for the guy that's asking about if I'm waiting to for my odd NZD to reach his sell order, that's not a sell order. That's a buy limit down there. I won't wait for it to reach there. I will potentially enter before it does, and I will delete that pending order. So sorry, YouTube guys. I hope that some of the guys that have been watching my stream before can help answer some of your questions. But I've decided just to close out that chat on that on YouTube, just because there's been some trolls that come in and they act like they know it all, and they haven't been watching my stream in the past. So they catch things here and there that lead them to believe that they know how I'm trading, and they'll say rude things or things that are just not true. And so I've decided to not answer to the chat on YouTube. But if you guys want to have some feedback and your questions answered in the best way I can, go to forexsignals.com to join the free chat room there. That's where this stream is being placed, and I was asked by the admin there to do the stream. So before I close out, I'm going to show you current stats. Okay, so on SimpleTrader, good old Gold Star is still making his way up, 13. I was level 17 until I had my loss, unfortunately, but I'm making my way up slowly. I'm at 60 now. Just a couple weeks ago, I was at 75, so I'm making some pretty good headway. So my signal, maximum drawdown that says on SimpleTrader was 6.58%. So far this week, I'm at 0.28% profit, which is about on average right now for my profit. Once this AN trade closes out, then I'll be looking at maybe a better position in profit. But I could close that out break even. We'll just have to wait and see. I'll be changing depending on what the price gives me. Overall results for this month are looking pretty good at 3.96%, which is my second highest so far. I still have let's see. I still have a week and a half left before this month is closed. So I could potentially exceed that 5.39% that I had back in May. Right now I'm sitting at just barely positive overall on the account. It's saying 12.34%. I don't think that's displaying correctly. No, it's not showing my profit for today. So my profit for today is a bit higher than that. So it's 12.47%. SimpleTrader is a little slow on showing the results for some reason. So it's 12.47%, and for this week I have done 0.28%. It's showing here. Oh, I guess it's showing here for 0.28% as well. That's weird. I'm not sure why this is displaying differently. Oh well, I guess it's not a big deal. So that's results on that account, and you can also see my fun high risk accounts as well. These are pretty fun. This is the 13 times higher risk. So that's a demo account on IC markets. I'm doing it to 13 times risk, and then here is the 13 times risk on my live account at Forex Broker Inc. with 501 leverage, and it's at 36%. Now I'm probably going to close this account out soon. I don't think I have really any need for it since I'm trading Good Boys MAM account. And this was just for a test run to show people that the high risk trading using my strategy can work, but as long as you understand the risks involved in doing it. Okay. And let me post. So if you guys want to join my signal, I'm going to post it here in YouTube, and so you can check that out. You can also, for those of you guys in forexsignals.com. You can look at my signals here as well. I offer a free 2 weeks, so you can get a free 2-week trial, depending on what the one or 3 or 6 month that you choose. You save a little bit of money in long term by doing more months, but yeah, each of them offer a 2-week free week trial that you can take. It should give you. I used to only offer 1 week, but I decided that I wanted to give you a better idea of what to expect from my signals, and that's why I'm offering 2 free weeks. All right, so I think that's pretty much all I wanted to cover for today. Still looking pretty good for this trade. You guys will find out if I take them or not. It's potential on the hour, so in the next hour. So that would be 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here. That I could be entering a second position on the odd NZD, and another position on the pound CAD, and that would be a sell on the pound CAD and a second buy on the odd NZD. All right, so I think that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and oh, there's one more question from Armin that I can answer. Oh, I gotta sneeze. Jeez. Excuse me. It depends, Armin. It really depends on the pair. I really change the distance of my orders depending on the pair. And like you saw today, the pound CAD, I had 20 pips from my first to my second order. Usually when I don't usually go closer than that, and that's even still pretty close for a pound pair. But I was telling you earlier, I was looking at the other pound pairs, and I saw that there was some resistance holding, and that's why I chose to do that at that level. But typically, I won't have them that close. It depends on the volatility of the pair. Some of them I like them to be shorter, longer, wider, depending on the volatility of that pair. So, like for example, the pound odd, that's a pretty volatile pair, and so I usually won't have. I usually will space my support resistance lines, or take support resistance in the 80 to sometimes even 120 pips. In between. The wider the basket, usually the safer it is. But you want it to work well. You want to choose good support resistance levels, and you don't want to just blind basket or blind grid trade. It just doesn't work. All right, so keep that in mind when trading, and I hope that you guys are good. Have a good rest of the day on your trading. And I'll see you guys again tomorrow at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, and hopefully not for as long as I did today. All right, so you guys have a good one.